Good morning and welcome back to Gaming with ADHD. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about a project that I am starting for the On Tabletop Spring Cleaning Challenge for 2022. The basic idea of the contest is to pick something that's been sitting in your collection for a while and get some work done on it. The contest started on March 20th, 2022 and will run until June 21st. I will have a link in the description to the contest rules in case you're interested in participating. Now, as you can see from the image on screen, man, I cannot point on this. Ha! That did not work well. As you can see on the screen, I am going to work on painting my figures for Imperial Assault. This has been sitting out and exposed in the house and in various states of completion. So what I'm using this video for is basically to kind of set the baseline of where I'm starting from and describe what the goals that I have in mind are. Now, before we do get started, make sure that you are subscribed to the channel so that you don't miss any of the updates. In addition, I do plan on doing some live streams, and I'll get into some more details on that later. But don't forget, I do also cover all sorts of tabletop gaming topics, from miniatures to board games, card games, basically anything that you can play on a tabletop, I'm interested in covering. So, with that said, let's check out what I am starting with. So, what we have here is, one layer of my display for Imperial Assault. And I'll expose the second layer here in just a minute. But I kind of want to use this top layer as a good example of where I'm at. So, to start off with, this is the bag of figures that came from, I believe, Jabba's palace. As you can see, there's a lot of just dirt on this. Okay, these figures are unpainted. A couple of them have actually broken. Let's see here. So, there's a lot to work with just from this bag. But as you can see from the figures that I've got here, I've got some that are painted. In fact, the ATST is actually completely painted, whereas the General Vice, I believe, this ATST is not fully painted. Most everything else is either hasn't been painted or I've just gotten some base coating on it. So we'll use this as an example. One of the heavy weapon stormtroopers. So as you can see, I've based it black, but at least from the top, he looks pretty much gray again, just because of all the dust. So, I want to, number one, I want to clean the display. It's been sitting out on a shelf, totally exposed to the Arizona dust. We get dust everywhere. I realize every house gets dust, but in Arizona you get a lot. And so at a bare minimum, I want to start by getting the display cleaned. Now, that's going to be the easy part. Going to get some canned air, soft bristle brushes, for use on the painted figures, and obviously for the unpainted figures, a lot of handy dandy soap and water is gonna work well for this. Okay, so that is the first step, just to get it clean, get the dust removed. Now, the next thing I want to do is I want to finish painting figures. So I'm gonna take this top layer off. At least if I can without dropping everything. So this is the rest of the figures that I have. Let's zoom in a little bit and focus. Now, some figures have been painted. This is one of the Jedi characters, I believe from the base set. Overall, not bad, but could definitely use a little detail. I don't even remember when I started painting these. We've got a Rebel Trooper over here. So, at a minimum, these guys could use a wash to pick out some of the details. But then again, just clean off some of that dust. I've also got some figures that have been started, but I haven't finished them. So I'll use the Royal Guard as an example. As you can see, I've left a lot of paint on the base. The rest of the figure is pretty good. Again, could still use a wash, but to at least clean up the bases and get those at least a plain black. I like the way that plain black looks in just a generic setting, especially because Imperial Assault has all sorts of different terrain tiles, snow, grass, desert. So, painting it black will absolutely, help with that. And then in addition, I want to just get some of these unpainted figures done. So like here we've got another one of the hero characters. Fantasy Flight did really well with these figures, and so at a minimum, I need to get these heroes painted. To have some heroes painted, some not very exciting for different players. I've got my stormtroopers painted, but I've got enough for another unit of stormtroopers, so get those guys painted. I've got snow troopers that have their base coat. Man, that's a great zenithal highlight. Too bad it's just dust and it would just, peel right off. So I absolutely want to get that done. Now, so step one is to clean the figures. Step two, finish painting any unfinished figures or go through and do some wash on those. Step three, I want to get the unpainted figures done. So those are the main goals. Those are what I'm really trying to accomplish with this project. There are two other goals that I do have in mind. So as you can see here, I've got a lot of space for most of these characters. But I have, the bag of figures that's full. And I'll bring the top tray back in and zoom out as best I can. But so you'll notice, like back here I have just some of the bad guy characters. I've got some heavy weapon stormtroopers over here. These riot troopers are actually in a spot for a long base. So I've got figures just kind of all over the place. And, I want to I want to redesign the tray so that either all of the figures will fit into a display that can go onto my Kallax shelves, because I've added those since I started collecting Imperial Assault. So make a display that would actually fit into Kallax and be able to hold all of the models, or just add another layer, probably of just the single figures down here, but add at least another layer so that everybody has a slot to stand in. So that is my first optional goal, is to redesign the display stand. The second optional goal is probably not going to happen, and I'm not sure. I'm still debating if I want to do it. Like I said, I do like just having a plain black base. I think it looks clean and it's fine. I obviously could put basing material on it, but then it kind of detracts from the figure when it's on snow and then moves to grass, things like that. So the other option would be to cut all of the figures off of their bases and then remount them on clear acrylic bases. I can do it. I'm not sure if I will do it, but if I do, that's going to be the second optional goal once I've got the display stand redesigned. So that is what I am planning on. Just as a quick recap on the goals, the first thing that I want to do is I want to clean the figures. Once that's done, I want to finish painting or at least adding some extra detail to the figures that are already have paint on them. I then want to finish painting the unpainted figures, followed by doing this all on the fly. I then want to redesign my display and finally rebase the figures onto acrylic bases if I get up the guts to do it. So those are my goals. And then finally, what can you expect on the channel? Okay, I do want to leverage my channel into showing off what I'm doing and also to keep me accountable. So with that being said, the first thing that I want to do is I want to do weekly updates. So you're watching this on Sunday, and that's when I'll plan on having the update videos put out. I'll show off what figures that I've completed, any other steps that I've taken, and just recap whatever I've done throughout the week. I do also want to do live streams, so just get on camera and be available, let people ask questions, and basically just hang out with gamers. I'm trying to be more sociable these days, and I don't really go and hang out in a game store anymore to paint, and so I figure this could be the next best thing to meet up with people and just talk and answer questions and see what people are doing. And then the third thing that I'm going to do is I will absolutely be posting updates to my project on beastsofwar.com. I will have that link down in the description so you can follow along there. As I do individual figures, so say I can get one figure done in a day, I'll take a couple of pictures of it and I will put it up on Beasts of War. And so you can go and you can see those updates if you want to get information during the week as opposed to waiting for the Sunday video. So with that said, I do appreciate you giving me some time and seeing where I'm starting from. And I look forward to seeing how much of this project that I can get done and how much my ADHD lets me keep working with. So thank you for watching. Again, if you liked the video, please do give it a thumbs up. Also, make sure that you are subscribed to the channel so that you don't miss those updates. But other than that, thank you for your time, and we'll talk to you soon.